guys, this is not a review, just a quick video. Been approached by people in the past, to be honest, loads of times, and Alex tonight, so I'll read what he was said. Dan, can we make video requests? Would like to know what your favourite juice is, RBAs, RDAs, MechMods, VV, MY, plus builds in them. I think that would be a good video. So this is nothing other than my personal opinions, and I ain't saying it's going to be the same for you straight away. First of all, can you make video requests? Obviously, yes you can. The worst I'm going to do is say no. It depends on what the request is, you may be told to fuck off, but typically the answer will be yes or no. Would like to know your favourite juices. I'll tackle that first. Depends on the purpose you're serving, I suppose. My favourite all time would be vapus.com.my. It still is, and it will be until something comes out and absolutely smashes it. They're cheap. They are cheap. They vape like a very high-end juice, but they're cheap. The delivery is what stops people buying them. It's as simple as that. So if you're going to order, you have to make it worthwhile, because delivery on them usually costs about the same as 4 bottles of juice. So yeah, basically that would be my favourite juice. But you know, solid favourites, Vaping King, you know, in the UK, they're pretty sweet. Just as and rhubarb custard, really, I think the King's custard is nowhere near as good as it's hyped up to be, same as Grant's, if I'm perfectly honest with you. And a few others are pretty good, but they're not spectacular in my opinion. So yeah, that would be, you know, Jesters and rhubarb custard would be solid favourites. Other than that, Vape Gear. Don't underestimate their range. I know they're not, you know, famous for juices, whatever, but try them. They're solid as hell as a range. The best range I've tried for each and every flavour, tasting like it's supposed to, with one exception being their custard. Other than that, everything is on the head, and they taste exactly how they should do, and they taste good. So that would be juice recommendations. I mean, there is others out there. It depends on what juice you're after. If you're after budget juice, you know, e-smokeless do Hansing. Now people bitch around about Hansing and Chinese juice, but push comes to shove, they're the biggest e-liquid manufacturer in the world, and you're far more likely to get a shit quality e-liquid from Barry Bob in his shed than you are from Hansing. The flavours aren't spectacular. I mean, some of them are good, but most of them aren't. But they are good budget juice, you know. So yeah, don't judge them too quickly, because their testing process is intensive in comparison to any of the guys that I've just mentioned. So I mean, with exception maybe of Vape Gear and Vaping King, but to be honest with you, you can go on Hansing's website and see what their testing procedures and policies are, and you'll see the differences between them and a typical vendor. So don't underestimate them for a budget juice. Decaying as shit though, to be honest. RBAs and RDAs. RBAs, there's only one winner really. It's K-Fun standard. It is the way. It's like owning a Calero tank, but vapes like a dripper, you know, and in some cases better than. It holds 4.5 mil. It's 22 mil. Fits with loads of mods. You know, it's versatile. It's rugged as hell, and it stands up to a lot of abuse, because mine's been through the mill and never a problem. So yeah, I mean, K-Fun would be RBA, but I mean, there are others. There are others out there. It depends what kind of thing you like. I mean, like the Typhon, bloody solid vape. Not the best in my opinion. K-Fun's better, but bloody good vape. The Fogger V4, again, tried a couple of them. Haven't reviewed them because it's not been mine, but tried them, and they're definitely solid as hell. Not as easy to build as the K-Fun, but other than that, they're spot on. This Mister, don't underestimate that either. It's very simple, and I like that, but the build is very similar to a K-Fun. The vapors are very similar to a K-Fun, with the exception the airflow is slightly bigger on this, so you've got more of a, you can take a lung draw if you want to, but it's not so big that you can't take a mouth pull. It holds like 5 ml of e-liquid, and it's hybrid. It's a good device. It's, you know, for me, when I want a lung hit over a K-Fun, the flavour's not quite as good as a K-Fun, but it's fucking close. Solid, very easy to build. What else have we got? I mean, as far as tanks go, it's a preference thing. All of this shit's a preference thing, which is why I'm saying don't necessarily buy into this. If you agree with it, you agree with it, but typically you find your own feet. But you want to know mine, so this is mine. So yeah, K-Fun is my answer to that. RBA. RDAs, there's a lot now. There's a lot. I mean, going back, there was only a couple of 22mm drippers you could get your hands on, and both like who were wank, to be honest with you. Now there's loads. I like a 22mm dripper. Still there, I'm not such a big fan of. Jay's has just sent me down 2 Zeniths, one for myself and one for the Minge. And you know, I'll let you know what he thinks of it, and obviously I'll let you know what I think of it as well. I haven't actually played with it yet because I'm not there. It's been sent today, but I can imagine that becoming a solid favourite of mine as well. Stuart Duncan sent down an Origin dribber. I have used it. Review is coming, but you know, that again is a little flavour monster. To be honest, it depends on what you want. You know, if you want some versatility, things like the Trident is good, but it's not. I don't like it. You know, Trident V2, don't like it. It's good, but I liked it for a long time, and then I just fell out of love with it, and I'm never going back. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. Amiga, again, great for all occasions, but it's a bitch to build, so because of that, I'm not a big fan of it. This Castle fucking thing, hate it. I hate it. I'm only using it because it's there, but I don't like it. It's a bitch to build. It's built like crap. It's a clone, but you know, it's built like crap, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. For flavour, Zeus or the A7, I prefer the A7. I think the flavour's actually slightly better in the A7, but the build's a pain in the arse. And you know, you get it and you think it's not that bad, then you do it all the time and it is a pain in the arse. We used to use producer views, which is maybe why it's such a pain in the arse, because you used to have to do it 10 times in a day, but you know, it's one of them things. I think this, where is it gone now? That little thing there, it's underestimated, the Argo S. It's a tight drawer. Well, it looks like a tight draw, but it's not. It's actually quite a loose draw. It flavours like a beast and performs well. So I mean, it comes down to personal preference. It's a lot of this stuff is down to looks, and you know, yours are going to be different than mine, and it's just how it is. What else we got? I mean, there is more on drippers. You know, there is more. It depends. Price plays a part. You know, Atomic's really good dripper. If you want to buy a real one, they're 70 quid. You buy a clone, about 15 quid. But they're really good. So you know, but then for me, it's not 22, so I don't use it on that much. There's a lot of variables when it comes to choosing your kit, and you know, you've got to find something that ticks them boxes for you ultimately. But I mean, I love the Atomic. I think it's a great dripper. I think it's nice to build, but I just don't use it on much. Go figure. Mech mods, there's loads. Depends on what you're talking about again. If you're talking about clones, like I own hundreds of clone mech mods, and to be honest with you, 80% of them are solid as hell, built well, do the job, and have not got a fault. The V3 from Fastech, M16 Sentinel clone from Fastech, it's an Astro clone Fastech. My favourite mech mod so far in existence is the Fortune mod. It's a high-end device at a mid-range price. Still in their tag, but that's what it is. But I use it every day. That with the K-Phone, I've been using it for like last month, consistently every day. I use it when I'm driving because it's got no locking ring. It's handy to pick up and drop down. But it just hits well. It looks good. It's a good size, and it all fits in nicely. You know, and they're coming in different finishes, so I can definitely see me having some of those as well. And the fact, you know, Tim was a member of this group and a part of all of us before he decided to do that. Awesome. I really like that too. So, you know, that would be my favourite mech that I've ever owned. Would be the Fortune. Some guys will disagree. It's not for everyone because of the hybrid connection, because of the magnet setup, because of the button, because of the no locking switch. But for me, that ticks all my boxes, and I love it. Other people love the NEM. I can't stand the fucking NEM. I think it's a piece of shit. I think people go on, you know, and they rant and rave about it, and because of that, people want it, and it drives up exclusivity of a mod that personally I don't think it's that good. And I'm talking genuine as well as clone. Again, go figure. I tend to be against the grain when it comes to this kind of stuff. I don't know why. But you know, my favourite mech would definitely be the Fortune, and if you haven't got one, I'd definitely recommend you try and get your hands on one to play with before you decide to buy one. And if it's for you, you won't regret that decision. And now coming in SS very soon. So yeah, that's good one thing. VV and why? The only VV I'd touch really would be the DNA. I think the Pravari is an oversung piece of pants. It's not it's a piece, but it's built well and it does the job and it hits like it should, and I just don't want it. I just don't want one. Never have. I've looked at them and thought, yeah, they're good, but I've never truly wanted one. I think they rate batteries, they have their faults, the chipset can move, it fucks the screen up. It costs 200 quid. You know, and I don't buy into that. And the one button thing, I'm not a big fan of that either. But any DNA, you know, whether it be a little Vapor Shark, whether it be a big mod, I'm waiting to build to. I've been for ages. It's just been the stuff going on. It's been heavily delayed. The Hannah clones, for example, I can see that becoming my go-to because, you know, it's cheap enough. You don't care if it dies really, but it does the job well enough that it keeps up with everything else. So, you know, I can see that becoming a solid favourite. Again, that's in the post to me today. So I'll do a Hannah pick as soon as I'm able. But yeah, that would be the VV, I think, purely because it can hit more. You know, your typical 15 watts isn't enough for me, and it's not because of the wattage limit, it's because of your amp limits. With ammos and stuff, 6 amps. Now, to me, that just screams danger because people stick 5 amp batteries in it, over push them. But it's not enough for versatility. It's not enough for versatility, you know. I want to be able to go all the way up the range. I want to be able to stick a 22mm dripper on with a 2 ohm or 1 ohm dual coil in it. I want to be able to vape it at 14, 15 watts where I'm happy for flavour. And then when I want to kick it up and I want to be able to produce a cloud. And there's very few things out there that will do that, and that includes a Bavaria with a piddly 3.5 amp push. You know, that's all it can achieve. That's all it will let you achieve. So, I mean, for everyday vaping, yes, but let's face it, we don't live in a world of everyday vaping anymore. We're not in a world of Clearos and Carto tanks where all that's the hype and that. That shit's old now. It's about rebuildables, and most people will agree with me. Others will go, no, I'm happy with my ego, and that's fine. That is fine. This is what I'm saying. This is your choice. It's your preference. I'm just telling you mine. And in my opinion, we don't live in a tank world anymore, like a Clearomizer replaceable system tank. That stuff is for guys who don't want to do any effort. Most of you that are on here because you want to learn or you want to put the effort in and you want to share them experiences, and big up you for it, obviously. So, I mean, yeah, VV, it has to be a DNA or something like that. I mean, the GI2, it's one of them, like, it's a variable voltage device, or very wattage device, sorry, but it's made specifically for cloud chasers. Now, yeah, you can get to 160 watts, but I can do that on a mech. You know, I want one. I want one to own one, and I want one because, you know, you can go down lower and then bring it up higher. So you can use a build kind of normally like I am with this one, or you can then just go fucking crazy and, you know, you can make it do something stupid. And I like doing things that are stupid. Let's face it, we all do this. One of the reasons why we do this, because it's a hobby. We like blowing clouds to see who's got the biggest balls, and just in general, you know, you want to do something that's different. It's not becoming so different anymore. Everyone's getting into it, and a lot of people say that's a bad thing, and I agree to some extent, because the people who are new to this see it and they don't know what to do, and they want to do that, and they do things that they don't know they're doing. You know, they're putting themselves in danger. But on the flip side of that, because of how popular this is coming, the safety side and the safety aspect of this is becoming incredibly well known. Let's face it, guys, all the problems with these, you know, batteries and venting and all that kind of stuff, it happens with egos. How many experienced mod users do you know say that I had a battery vent and I blew myself up, or I set my house on fire? Yeah, they may burn themselves. Like, I look at this burn, but you never hear like horror stories, you know. The last one that Alex asked was builds. What would be the best builds? You know, especially in recent times, the last few months in particular, RIP's a big contributor for this. But we know we've all seen them crazy calls. Your build's going to be dependent on what you want to do. This is not a flavour build, this is a cloud build, but with that you can get flavour depending on the juice. A typical build, micro, it's a 5.6 or a 6.7 wrap of 0.32 or 0.34 in a K, in a dripper, in anything. That's the flavour coil for me. I don't care. Clapton coil, twisted, nano, dingle, dangle, fucking minion like fucking shit. I've tried them. I have tried them, and nothing compares to a micro. Nothing. Okay, you get some that are good, and you get some that may even slightly edge it on flavour, but then the coil dies twice as quick. It's 10 times harder to re-wick. You have to constantly watch the coil. It's a third of the resistance of your normal coil to get you a fractionally better flavour. Therefore, you're killing batteries a lot quicker. You're discharging them and then having to charge them quicker, which in turn is costing you money and juice. And is it any better? No, not really. Not when it comes down to it. Standard 4 upper 0.2 over silica compared to a micro and cotton is worlds apart. Anything other than that is not worlds apart, in my opinion. Dual coil, single coil, that's a preference thing. Can get more flavour from a dual, but you burn more juice, you burn more batteries. My preference is single. I'm a single kind of coil person, unless I'm chasing. Simple as that. So yeah, I mean that's a very quick. You know, I had 10-15 minutes, and I thought I'd come on because it's been asked for. You watch a lot of shit, to be honest with you, that, you know, I post just because, you know, it's me posting it, and I appreciate it and I'm grateful for that. So I think the least I can do is do something back really quickly when I have got the 15 minutes to do so. So like I say, questions and requests are welcome. As we've always said, you know, you want us to do something and you've got it, send it down. I'll play with it and I'll send it back to you. In fact, that mister's not mine. I've had it for ages. James must think I've stolen it off him at this point, but it's just been incredibly busy and a lot of stuff going on, and it is coming up as well. Other than that, I don't think there's much more I can cover, to be honest with you. I mean, a quick hash. If I'm going to pick one from each, one juice for the rest of my life, it'd probably be bubblegum from vapors.com.my or pop from the same juice range. If it had to be UK, it'd be Jester's juice, no question. Now, my favourite RBA, K-Fun, easy. My favourite RDA, Atomic, reservingly. MechMods, Fortune, VV, anything with a DNA in it. Best build is microcool cotton, irrespective of ohms and resistance. That's your preference. Batteries, 35 amp E-Fests or VTC 5s. That would be the answers to them questions in a hashtag. So yeah, guys, obviously, you know, this wasn't made for YouTube, but I'll stick it on there because that's where it's going to be. If you found this interesting, sweet. If not, it was mainly for the Facebook guys anyway. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I shall see you about on the group soon.